anybody who's wondering why we're in Brooklyn and New York and doing the whole thing over here, we're filming a ton of courses for the membership over at Scott's Bass Lessons. For the most part, it's been me that's been filming them up until now. You know, we've got, I don't know, maybe like 20 courses or something like that in the membership, 25 courses. We've got a heap of courses. 2017 for me was really taking the membership at Scott's Bass Lessons to that next level and really giving you guys access to some of the best bass educators, some of the best bass players in the world, giving you guys access to courses by those guys via Scott's Bass Lessons. Yeah, so that was the idea behind 2017, and I'm happy to report that it's off to a flying start. I've recorded one, Rufus Philpott's recorded one, Damien Erskine's recorded one, Rich Brown has recorded one, Steve Jenkins has recorded one. I'm probably missing somebody out. It's been phenomenal, and like some of the footage that we've got, guys, is like there's nothing in the world like the footage that we've got. Like one that really springs to mind is Steve Jenkins, his course. He brought Kenny in, who's like one of the best drummers here in New York, and they did a course together talking about interaction and improvisation, interaction with the drummer and the bass player. Oh man, like wait till you check this stuff out, it's gonna blow your mind. I'm so excited to share this stuff with you guys. Anyway, so Jonathan Marin, who's in today, who is one of the top bass players here in New York. He's played with Groove Collective. He played with Maxwell, right? So, phenomenal player. He's got a full band in with him today. It's really going to be challenging for the setup, getting the lights right and making sure it looks amazing. I'll make sure I drop some footage in this vlog about that. And yeah, so Jonathan's in today, and then the day after that Adam Neely is coming in. I'm sure a whole load of you guys know Adam from his YouTube channel that's kicking off at the minute. And we gave Adam a shout while we were out here, and we were like, dude, let's do something. Yeah, so it's gonna be exciting stuff. So, hey, and while I've got you, thanks for following all this along and the vlogs, and thanks for all the support of the this content that we've been putting out while we've been away. It's really exciting to see you guys engage, and it's gonna be awesome. Let's take bass education to the next level, right? So I want to interrupt this broadcast. To talk about a question that I've just received from somebody that's studying with me within the membership at Scott's Bass Lessons. I'm going to read the question first of all, so you can hear the context of what I'm going to be talking about. But I think this is something that so many people paralyze themselves with, this one fear, and when it all boils down to it, I think that really great musicianship and being able to work in many environments, different musical environments, actually boils down to 5 different things. Let me read you this question. Hey Scott, I'm at music school over here in the States, and I'm in my 3rd year. In other words, I'm about to get thrust into the real world of a gigging musician, and to be honest, when I go to YouTube and watch the likes of Federico Malaman, Hadrian Furrow, Evan Marion, Victor Wooten, Rufus Philpott, Cody Wright, and many others, I simply feel like I'm never going to reach that level of technical proficiency on the bass, and therefore I'm even wondering whether being a professional musician is right for me, or whether I'm just trying to chase a dream that will never be real. I'd love to hear from your take on this, as you always bring so much clarity to my bass playing through your lessons that I'd really like to hear what you think about my dilemma, and as I'm sure there are so many other bass players around the world suffering from this same fear. Absolutely, I do agree with you, Tom, that there is, people getting, filling their head with this fear of seeing these virtuosic bass players that can play at any tempo, improvise over any chord sequence at any speed, they're frightening, right? You know, other guys, I've noted these down, like Gary Willis, Alain Caron, Jeff Berlin, Jeff Andrews. You know, there's a ton of these guys out there, and they're all, you know, virtuosic improvisers and have virtuosic technique. But I've got to say, and if this is you guys as well, obviously I'm talking to Tom here, but if anybody else is suffering with this fear and checking out those guys, and you're wondering if professional, you know, a career as a professional musician is possible while you're watching them guys and you're thinking, I'm never going to be able to get there, let me just sort of like debunk something for you, okay? Those guys are amazing at what they do, right? I'm not taking anything away from those guys, because I geek out on those guys all of the time, and they're frighteningly good. But that is nothing to do with being a professional musician. To be a professional musician, you don't have to be able to do that. You know, yes, they're virtuosic in their way, but you also can be a virtuosic musician without having to be incredibly technically frightening like that. You know, what about guys like, I don't know, like Pino Palladino, Michael League, Jonathan Marin, who we've got in this video, Carol Kay, James Jameson, our very own Danny Mo Morris in Scott's Bass Lessons. You know, these guys are at top of their game, right? But they're not doing that, you know. They're not doing that. They're virtuosic musicians, you know. They've got, I'm going to talk about the 5 elements that I think that everybody should be aiming for, and at no point am I going to say you should be tearing around the fingerboard at a gazillion miles an hour. That isn't in the 5 elements of a great musician. Yes, that's something you can do if you want to, if you want to work on that, but being a professional musician, you don't need that within your skill set, right? I think about it like a car, right? To be a fantastic car, you do not need to be a Bugatti Veyron. Right? You don't, you know, you can be a Mercedes or a BMW or a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, or these are all fantastic, like amazing cars, but they're not a Bugatti Veyron. You know, you don't need to be all things to all men to be a great professional musician or a great bass player. So I want to take this time to talk about the 5 elements, the 5 key elements that I think will serve you well as a musician, okay? And this doesn't need to be a professional musician. You could be a hobbyist musician or a semi-pro musician, but these 5 elements are really going to serve you well. Okay, number 1 is good sound and control of sound, but I always think of that as good sound. That doesn't mean, this could be a multitude of things. It could range from your instrument, being able to get a good sound out of your instrument, making sure that, you know, your amp isn't breaking down, your amp is powerful enough to project, you know, on stage or in the theatre pit or wherever you are, but a good sound. And under that umbrella also, I mean good sound from you as a player, you know, consistency between notes. Like, that's a big deal. Creating a really even tone across all the strings, okay? So that is it's an important thing as a musician to be able to really get a consistent tone across your entire instrument, okay? So good sound. Okay, number 2 is you've got to have good time. You've got to have good time. You can't be speeding up and slowing down. You've got to be solid. You've got to be able to, you know, create a great groove and make it, you know, and make it consistent. Number 3 is feel. Now, for me personally, I think somebody can have great time, but they might not have great feel. So great time is being able to, you know, play within the grid in a really consistent way without speeding up or slowing down. But making it feel great, well, that's got a lot to do with dynamics when you're playing, okay? And a multitude of other things, but for me, one of the foundational elements of feel is dynamics, and whether you are a dynamic player in terms of, if you're playing a groove, not the same velocity. It's not, you know, they're not the same volume. I've really worked hard on being able to, for me, make something groove and make something feel great by using dynamics when I'm playing. And it could be like these are little milliseconds in between what I'm doing down here with the right hand. A lot of it for me comes from the plucking hand, but making something feel great as a bass player, as any musician, but as a bass player, as a drummer, as a guitar player, it's right up there on the list, and it's just super important. Number 4 is musical knowledge and how to apply it to the instrument, okay? So understanding your chord tones, your scales, your arpeggios, understanding all of that, and then being able to apply it in a real working life situation. This is it's a critical element of being a musician, okay? Understanding what all this means and how to like a 3-chord C major to F major to G major, but because I've worked on my harmony, you know, my musical knowledge, and worked on how to apply it to the fretboard, I can do that over the entire bass, and it's a really important element of being a great musician. Again, nothing to do with technique or flying around the fingerboard at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's the knowledge. It's being able to take care of business on your instrument. Okay, so number 5, last but not least, is be cool to hang out with. I know that's got nothing really to do with playing the instrument itself, but in terms of getting gigs and being a first call bass player or musician, it's right up there, okay? It's right up there. And I really, like, I've hung around with a lot of the, you know, of that upper league of bass players and musicians, and I tell you what, man, they're all really great guys to hang out with, and that's because they wouldn't have got the gigs that they've got in their careers if they'd all been a complete pain in the ass. So it's really worth bearing in mind that, you know, yes, good sound, good time, good feel, great musical knowledge and how to apply it on the instrument, all of that is really important, but being great to hang out with as well and having a relaxed and positive attitude to life is really up there as well.
One of my friends that live there downstairs. They've got there just this one back. Your sort of like your known path.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's going on, Scott?
What's going on?
What's going
Jonathan Marin's in. You create some grooves. D-Mac's in.
Let's do this.
PMG's in.
Master General.
Master General.
How long have you been into the BBs for? Because I'm like a huge fan.
Is that right?
I'm a huge fan of Yamaha BBs.
I found, my mom gave me like a shopping bag full of stuff from my house, and I found the original receipt from 1986 for the...
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I couldn't afford... What was the stupid bass I was going to buy? There was a stupid bass I was going to buy, and I wound up getting a black one, a black BB.
Yeah. Have you still got that one as well? Yeah.
It's like there are times when I wished it was a P bass. I have like a P bass for that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely got a kind of a more nasal thing, but it's a really like unique sound.
Hey guys, Jonathan's just got, well, Jonathan's been here all day, but the band that is getting in for this course have just got here, and we're just going to go down and set up. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. That's what I'm talking about. This stuff is going to be rocking. How long did it take? Half a day. Yeah, bearing in mind that we did it for 2 hours last night as well.
Yeah, lighting's crazy.
Yeah.
It makes or breaks.
Yeah, yeah. How long did we take today? Was it another hour or possibly two? Two, so like 4 hours in total on lighting.
Yeah.
Good times.
Oh! Pablo, did you just...
Got it. You come and enjoy the funk.
Oh man, it's amazing.
So just to give a bit of context to what you're watching right now, like Jonathan Marin, he wanted to really create a course around bassline development, and he's got some really cool methodologies actually that I've never heard of before. When we release this course, guys, if you remember at scottsbasslessons.com, obviously you'll be able to watch it. And he was showing these different ways of bassline creation and taking a simple line and then twisting it slightly so you get another, almost a secondary bass line to your first bass line. It was really cool actually watching him record it. And as you can see, like John, he's got great technique, man, don't get me wrong, but he's not like blazing around giant steps at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Is he at the top of his game and an absolute virtuosic musician, being able to apply it in a great way and make that band feel great? Absolutely. And that's why I thought that Jonathan was really great using this course and showing you guys in recording behind the scenes is another great example of, you know, you can be a fantastic, at the top of your game musician without having to tear around Countdown by John Coltrane at 300 BPM. It's got to do with so much more than that. It's got to do with, you know, your sound, your feel, and what you do with that. And at the end of the day, as I said before in this video, about whether you're a good guy to hang with too. So hot. Check this out. It was so ridiculously hot in that room. Anyway guys, just to wrap up this video, I want to show you a bit of the studio that we've just moved into. I will do a proper studio tour type of thing because at the minute we've just got like tons of boxes everywhere, but it's a super exciting time because we've just moved into a new studio. It's like a loft type thing. If I hold this right up there, I don't know if you can see it. There you go. There's like these big beams and stuff. Very cool. And if I take you down here, you'll see this is where all the sound gear is. We've got the workstations here. Obviously this is my desk surrounded by basses. We've even got some dodgy drums in here. And then at the minute, this is where we're going to be filming. This is kind of like it's a work in progress. It's going to be a lot cooler in, you know, when we get it all set up, but we've just been in here a day, so we're just rushing around a bit at the minute. And also, the reason behind doing this was to be able to do workshops from here. So as you can see, it's a huge space, and we're going to be doing maybe sort of like 1 or 2 in-person workshops a year where like 10 to 15 people can come out here to the studio and hang out for a week with me and D-Mac that's just here. Give a shout, D-Mac. Anyway, what should they do after watching this video, D-Mac?
Subscribe.
Subscribe! Take it easy, guys. Bye.
2015 Kickstarter challenge.
Hey everybody.
Hey,
Hey everybody!
hi everybody. Hello all. Hello.